Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, you know, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
For generations, fans of IndyCar could only dream of stepping into the cockpit and feeling the rush of going wheel to wheel at over 200 miles per hour. Thanks to the latest in sim racing technology, we can get one step closer. Talented, fearless drivers battle it out in virtual race cars to claim supremacy at some of the world's most demanding tracks. This is the RIL, Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, presented by Raceverse.
Hello and welcome to round number 8 of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series from Iowa Speedway. This is round number 8, and for Raceverse, I'm Matt Houston. Joined by Gary Godso in the booth. I know Gary might be having some slight technical issues, so if you can't talk there, Gary, while you're getting everything loaded up, that's
no, we're catching up. We're catching up. Hey, just good to be here. It's very similar to if you build it, they will come. Put a baseball field in the middle of nowhere. Well, why don't you put a nice little super speedway, or actually a short track that races like a super speedway oval in the middle of nowhere, and people will come. In real life, not this year, but in virtual lives, we will be here tonight watching about, what have we got, 18, 19 guys that are showing up for this?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm watching on the screen right now, Neil Lusher is putting down an interesting lap. He did a 40-second lap. We're shooting about 16.9 provisional pole for Christian Jasper. Neil's just laying down a lap and getting his car some TV time here tonight.
Got to pay the bills somehow.
That's right. And speaking of paying the bills, I guess we've got I have some music that we end up playing. Wasn't playing it, so let's go get some of our tunes from Western Waves Media. But yeah, we have all of our cars appear to be qualified, other than Simkowski and Odell have not put in any laps. We still have a minute and a half. So as Gary was saying, IndyCar not coming to Iowa Speedway this year in IndyCar. They went last year, didn't they? Or was it the last one in 2019?
I think it's 2019, yeah. Okay. Last year they were supposed to go, but the pandemic, of course, ruined a lot of people's plans.
Yeah, so there are rumors, though, that this track could return to the schedule. There was an article, I believe, either on Motorsport or Racer.com recently that, you know, obviously
I think it should.
Penske owning the series, they want at least to get a couple more ovals back on the schedule, and this is kind of one of the prime places. Everybody likes it here. Interesting oval, pretty bumpy for an oval, and it gets bumpier just about every year, it seems like.
Well, thanks to the winners, yeah.
In addition to that, it has a really interesting pit entry, pit exit.
Oh my gosh.
Has caught a lot of people out, both in real life and here in iRacing. In real life, Ryan Hunter-Reay comes to mind as having a lot of issues the last time they ran here. I think he spun 2 times on the pit.
Very treacherous, very treacherous. And also, hey, they have to get down to NASCAR speeds here, not IndyCar speeds.
That's right.
So they will feel like they are crawling on pit roads. It's going to be very similar in speed to what we saw at Dover.
So I'm going to pull up our grid here, and I do have it in miles per hour there for you, Gary. So
all right.
Schaeffer at a 189.132, followed by Dakota DeMade at a 188, Caleb Bensi P3, Lewis Woodall P4, Matt Cosgrove P5, and Nicholas Isidro P6.
Actually, I got the second page up here. Got Michael Holler P7, Chris Albee with our favorite livery in P8, Christopher Kresge in P9, James Watson in P10, Lucas Santos P11, and Peter Donchek 12th.
And this is going to round out our field, but we've got Angelo Espo at a 180, Hannes Schlegel there in P14, Neil Lusher at an 80 mile per hour average. That's about like what, 1911 Indianapolis 500 kind of speed right there for Neil.
Yes.
A really classy move there for Neil out here doing that lap. We've got Jacob Odell in P16 and Alex Simkowski P17. So that is our grid for tonight. We're going to run 2 pace laps here tonight at the short ovals here. Get a good view of Lewis Woodall happen to be on camera there in his VOR red livery. Nice looking paint. Also an updated paint for Christian Jasper as well. Rocca's Bakery, I believe, on that one.
Yeah.
I'll get it correctly one of these days. Dakota DeMade running one of his usual kind of liveries here. Kind of in the list of the mini that he has. I know he names them, but I don't know the names of them.
Put the camera on Espo. That's kind of my second favorite livery running tonight. The old Skull Bandit.
Yes, and it is a green car though.
It is a green car, so he's on his own. But it is a traditional IndyCar, especially in the 80s. You saw Teo Fabi put it on the pole in 83. Later in the 80s, you saw Tom Sneva running that one. In fact, that was the livery and car Tom Sneva was running when he did the original spin out on the warm-up laps in 86, where he spun out just off of turn 2, warming up his tires that year. That was right in front of me, my very first 500. I vividly remember that. I was like, what the hell? How'd you do that? But Tom Sneva drove the Skull Bandit for a couple seasons as well.
So we're going to be setting up for 160 laps here tonight. It looks like Simkowski is not going to make it onto the grid here. Either he's starting from the pits or he's not in the session any longer. I do know that there's some weather issues that might be affecting some drivers that are kind of in the upper northern Midwest region. They were mentioning something about that in the chat earlier. I think I'm good down here in Indianapolis in my basement. So.
It is partly cloudy and warm here, definitely in central Indiana.
Yeah. So, but if there's any tornadoes or anything like that, I'll be safe right here in the basement. But yeah, we're gonna have 160 laps here tonight. We ran this a season ago, a heat racing. We ran Dover for our heat race this season, and so we've got a full-length race for the drivers out here tonight. About 140 miles, I believe, is what it comes out to be. I was doing a calculation earlier today.
Gonna go by quick. Quick.
So they'll probably be running about 17, 18-second laps when it comes to race trim. And here we go.
See how Jasper brings him down. This is his first pole position, and he is bringing him down really slow.
Dakota has a good run on the outside. Our championship.
Yeah, the outside line is going to be the fastest line. He's going to pull that one off. They're going to get piled up behind him. They're 4 wide coming off the corner.
A big check up there. I think cold tires and Christian Jasper there. Keeps it together, though. Caleb. Oh,
look, it's right in the outside. There's that's Espo. Or Isidro.
Woodall is going to contact the
And I
inside
think
wall.
Albie lost one of his front wings. Somebody lost a front wing.
Looks like Kresge is involved. Donchak.
No caution.
No caution. Wow.
And that is actually what they're asking on the radio. How is that no caution?
Well, Dakota.
Oh, and it's going to be a admin yellow. So a good call.
Yeah, that definitely
A little late, but a good call.
Definitely should have been a caution there.
Yeah, a little late, but a good call. I don't think anybody went down a lap, so all it's done is cost them track position and really nothing more major than that.
Yeah, I think we're going to have Kresge and Donchak are going to be definitely done. Woodall has all 4 tires are attached. Who knows how that car will run, though. Schlegel, all 4 tires attached, so he looks good. Lusher looks like he made it through that one A-OK. Skull Bandit, also A-OK. Let's see how
that happened again.
Get a replay of that.
It really looked like Isidro got pinched coming out of 3 and 4 up the high side, and I don't know who was beneath him, but they either did not know that he was going to continue to be there and thought maybe he would back off, or that person on the inside just pushed right up in. We'll see here in the replay.
Yep. Pretty far back in the replay. We're going to go a complete lap before we see it exactly. Let's try to get a little bit better camera angle. I'll even use the slow-mo when we get to it. It looks like Woodall and Isidro. Woodall just a slight understeer up into him a little bit. Kresge and somebody ran into somebody else. Who was that? Ran in, like, Kresge is checking up. There's a lot of checkup ahead of him. Donchak runs into Kresge, but then who is this? Oh, that's Schlegel that also gets involved. So really unfortunate for them. It's like, we've got 16 cars out here, and now we're going to be down to 12 cars here. So one of our storylines there, Gary, was that we might not have that much caution, and now with 12 cars basically running, we're probably not going to have too much more.
Yeah, we might actually see an oddity on a short track. Green flag pit stops.
Bensi is up to P2, so this is, let's do a run through of our championship here. Lights are on the pace car, so I'm just making sure. Let me see if I can get this up. Yep. Here we go. Oh. There we go, finally. So Dakota DeMade in the first place position in the championship. James Watson, P2, but you can see Caleb Bensi moving up 7 positions, 175 points.
Yeah.
He
had a great start.
He is, over 100 points back on Dakota, but we still have, a handful of rounds to go. 4 rounds to go, including this one. Yeah, it's a handful, including this one. Michael Holler there, P4, Isidro P5. Not going to be a good night for him, but yeah, we're going to be watching this Bensi DeMade battle. Is going to be kind of the one to watch for here tonight and for the rest of the season here. No disrespect to James Watson, though. I'm just talking Bensi is our champion from the last 2 seasons, so we know he's really good, and Dakota's running. He's got a couple wins this season, and he's got a significant lead.
Yeah, Watson has improved 5 spots, so he is in the top 5. So
yeah,
he is in a very good position very early here to maintain pace there in the standings.
Yeah.
Not necessarily going to make up room, but he's going to definitely be in the same neighborhood. Also making up a ton of spots. Jacob Odell, 8 spots in a single lap.
That's not bad.
I mean, some of that's attrition, but you still have to pass people.
Isidro looks like he's still running. Most of our cars, Schlegel's still running as well, so he's going to be 2 laps down, though.
We're getting ready to come back to green here. They're already queuing up out of turn 2 a little bit.
Yeah, really slow pacing laps here. But yeah, for Jasper, you had that pole. Not the best start, but he kept it all in one piece, and that's the most important thing in a track like this. A lot of these races, even with these few cars, we had a race at Phoenix Legacy, kind of a short oval, and it was, even though there weren't that many cars running at the end, it was still had some contact as we go back to green flag.
A good start there by Dakota. He's got a pretty decent lead going into turn 1. He's right there with Caleb following him right in behind him. They're just coming up to speed. The cars are a little dancy here right now on the colder tires. They'll come up to speed here. It takes about a lap, and they're going to take it easy going through turns 1 and 2 while they're coming up to speed.
That might become an issue later in the night. When the track temperatures start to cool, plus old tires if they decide to stay out on those old tires. So Dakota's going to lead, followed by Bensi. Albies running in 4th. We don't want a commentator curse on him yet, but...
No, not yet. So right now, Dakota really isn't doing much in the way of tire conservation. He is right there on the yellow line going through turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You'll start to see him kind of move up into that middle groove or about a half lane up or higher when they want to start conserving the tires a little bit more. It's certainly a longer way around, but there he is right there in turns 3 and 4, right in the middle line there. Riding a little bit higher there to work on saving the tires some. And again, looks like, same thing really kind of in 1 and 2. He's about a half lane higher, so he's already thinking ahead on keeping these tires fresh, especially when he doesn't have anybody in front of him in terms of giving him arrow push.
Yeah, that's going to be a storyline in the next, 10 to 15 laps once he catches up to some lap traffic. He might go a little bit, he's going to slow down quite a bit, and Bensi behind in P2 probably going to catch him at that point, or at least, cut into that gap.
Dakota,
right
I'm about to say
Bensi.
Dakota is, he's got Angelo Espo's the car ahead of him that's going to be lapped. He's about 6.5 seconds ahead of him right now. So he has a couple laps before he reaches them.
Jasper is going to make a move on the inside into turn 1. Not going to make that work. So what might develop as these tires degrade as this race goes on is, you were mentioning earlier just the different lines that they're going to take. You might have different lines at each end of the track in turn 1 and 2 versus turn 3 and 4. They might be running different lines by then. There's also a big bump on the exit of turn 4.
That disrupts a lot of cars, especially if they're loose. They'll kick the back end out.
Yep. With that said, though, you can actually, if the tires were degraded enough, I've seen it where they had daylight races here where you had really hot track temperature, that you could actually run all the way near the wall in 3 and 4. And that was actually the fastest way around because of the weather and the tires just being overheated.
Well, Dakota has stretched that lead out to about 1.2 seconds.
We go on board with Jasper back here.
It's real curious to see who's shifting, who's not. Right now, Dakota is not shifting gears.
I don't know if we mentioned, we talked about it between us both, but the fuel stint is looking to be about 70 laps here. And
wow, Caleb, I'm just popping in Caleb. He's going down as low as 4th and grabbing 4th coming off the corner, shifting it in the 5th, and not quite making it to 6th. So he is taking an aggressive approach on shifting through these corners.
He's also got Christian Jasper right there on his gearbox just about. And they had to check up at the tri-oval 2 laps ago almost now.
Now, Christian, there he is. He's shifting down the 4th, but it was just so briefly that he's shifting down the 4th. He's most of the time in 5th. Now he's up to 6th as he's in the draft there a little bit. But He's not nearly as aggressive on the gears as Caleb is. And of course, Dakota's just up there kind of cruising in 6th gear and making time.
Santos going inside of Isidro. Although Isidro's coming back on the outside.
Remember, the higher line is the faster line around here when you start getting side by side with somebody.
Yeah.
So if you want to pull that pass off, it's kind of the opposite as what you normally know it. The higher side is the way to get around here.
The biggest issue for that driver taking the high side is they really have to trust that guy on the left side.
Or you run into a situation that happened like on the end of lap 1 where you kind of get pushed up into the wall.
And Isidro just ran a really high line, like top of the track, as he was coming under pressure from Odell.
The Dakota right now currently purple with a 17.3, and that works out to be 184 miles an hour.
As we are just over 25 laps already gone here tonight. How are we looking for... Okay, Espo has retired, it shows me. So we didn't have to deal with any lap traffic. We have 12 cars running at the moment. Some of our cars that did move up a lot at the beginning have dropped back a little bit, like Odell and Lusher.
He's got a bit of a 4-car breakaway with these top 4.
Yeah, back to Watson. Watson under pressure from Cosgrove in P6.
That time by for Dakota an 18.4. Caleb was slightly quicker at an 18.414. Christian Jasper is actually faster than all of them with an 18.3. See how much the tires are working off here.
They've
That's
settled down
18.92.
just
Oh,
slightly,
18.313. So he actually picked up that lap. But
between
tires aren't
Jasper-
giving up as much as I thought.
Yeah, but you have to see what they're running these 18 second laps compared to what we saw in qualifying and what the best laps were. So they're a second almost off of their best laps.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
already.
yeah.
And this is right about, well, it's not quite halfway in the run because of the first few laps of caution. But yeah, this is where these drivers are going to start earning their money out here and trying to find that grip on the track as these tires start to go off.
Well, if you go back and look at Jasper, he has definitely gone to the high side. But also, that's another reason why he's up on the high side is you go where your aero block is not. And,
right.
Well, Caleb's running the low side, so you're not going to be able to pick up the good air if the car in front of you is blocking it. So he just goes up a lane, and not only is he getting clean air, but he's conserving his tires a little bit too.
Yeah, and with that said, Bensi has eaten into that.
He's reeling him in.
A
Yep.
little bit that Dakota has.
Got it down to under a second. 7/10 now.
Yeah, it was up to about 1.2, 1.3.
Yeah, so he's almost cut it in half. Yeah.
I think that was just when he was really being pressured by Jasper. Sometimes Jasper was actually on the high side coming out of some of these corners, and Caleb had to run a lower line, and that wasn't ideal for him.
You can actually hear now just by the sounds of the car. Oh, yellow, caution on the racetrack.
Who is this here? I'm not seeing it yet. Oh.
On the front stretch. Somebody on the front stretch.
Is that Caleb? No, it's not.
Odell?
Not. Is it Isidro? I think. Yeah, it's Isidro.
Okay.
So let's see what happened to him. He was involved in that first lap incident, or second lap incident. He might have had a damaged car or something. When these suspension pieces bend a little bit, the car will wear the tires even worse than it would otherwise.
37 laps, everybody's stopping.
Not to whatever happened to Isidro yet. Isidro is battling with Odell. Oh, he just slid up the track. There was some contact with Odell, but it looked like Isidro had slid up the track there. But I think he'll be able to continue.
And we have a new leader.
Yes, we do.
He's going to be brave. Let's see how long. If you remember when we had heat races, we had Craig Forsyth actually did this, and by the time he reached turn 3 on the restart, was already passed by the P2 who had fresh tires behind him. And maybe he's going to stop here, and he just wanted to get a little TV time, a little extra more TV time since he was getting TV time at qual, earn that point for leading a lap or whatever, and then maybe get back to the end of the line or whatever. But it's interesting. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have the pit right there. I mean, we're only halfway through a run, so if there's, if they were to be another yellow between now and then, and he still is up at the front, he's just earned himself some track position just by staying out.
And let's see if he can. I mean, everybody's going to have like a one more stopper from here. I'm not quite sure how this works out for him, but if he can get to, I don't know, lap 90 or something, like 85 maybe, then it might be a strategy that works out. But we'll see what he can do. Again, we're all just talking here. He might just duck into the pits here right at the last possible moment. We'll see what happens.
It's like Schlegel's getting his lap back.
That's one. So he was 2 laps down. He'll be 1 lap down now. We do have the lucky dog here. I think that's about the only NASCAR rule that we run here.
Yeah. Some people like it because they said, well, it makes races more exciting, allows someone to get back on the lead lap. I'm just personally not a fan of it. If you're going to do IndyCar racing, then do IndyCar racing. But if you want to do NASCAR racing, then do NASCAR racing. And neither the tween shall meet. You know what I mean? So, but that's a good rule for this league. Maybe in the off season they always reconsider rules, and maybe that's one of them they will. But right now, lucky dog.
I think the thought there is just, just playing devil's advocate on you, Gary, was that, it keeps somebody from having a bad day. And also maybe prevents a driver from forcing an issue trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
And here comes Neil.
Not the biggest fan of Lucky Dog either.
He's ducking to the inside, so I think he's going for pit road.
One thing I can't say, though, is that even that one lucky dog is better than that they do in Formula One, where they give a lucky dog to everybody who's a lap down. So, they don't call it that, though, obviously.
And Lusher's in for his pit stop.
Yes, he is. Lights out on the pace car. I think Neil's explained to me what his livery was multiple times, but some like TV show, I want to say, or like comic, something like that. He'll probably message me and tell me what it was again.
Was it Super Dave?
That might be it.
Super Dave Osborne?
I think that's it.
From was it not necessarily the news from HBO?
I think you're exactly right. So I don't really know that show, but
that's kind of an 80s.
So we're not going green. Is that an admin call? I heard a radio that said we're not going green.
Yeah, the lights are back on the pace car. So interesting. That would have to be an admin call.
Maybe cars were not in the correct order and that kind of thing here. Because I do see Lusher, even though he had that pit, he's ahead of Schlegel and Isidro. So I'm not sure where that happened. I think that was, those cars were waiting on Neil, to go green. I actually do agree with what just happened there.
That would have happened is those cars would have got a black flag because
exactly.
the lap cars are going to the back and your lead lap car But actually, wouldn't he been into the line because I think he pitted right there with a lap to go, and normally the pits are closed.
Yeah.
So they're on EOL. Anyways, good call, just to be safe. Anyways, we're coming to green, so one way or another, we're going to see some racing.
Here we go. Green flag.
Good jump by Dakota. Great reaction by Caleb.
Yeah, you could tell Caleb was going to be ready to go at that start.
Good battle between Holler and Watson, I think, or Cosgrove a little bit further back.
Albee and Jasper. Watson moving up into that battle as well. Looking back, what you were talking about, Odell moving on the outside of Santos.
Track temp is 80 degrees right now, 77 ambient, 80 on the track. So actually the ambient and the track temperature are almost the same. So that's typically when the speeds pick up.
Yep.
And if you watch Caleb here, he is sticking it right to the bottom, and Dakota is about a half lane off the bottom.
Maximum grip right now, fresh tires.
17.345. They're turning 17-second laps right now. Dakota just turned 17.345. His last lap was a 17.586. Benzie was a 17.541. So remember, we were seeing 18.3s right before the pit stop. Yeah, they shaved a whole second or so off that time. Just free, getting some nice new tires.
Really difficult to make positions up here, though. Looking back to Odell, this group, though, is still battling from Cosgrove, Odell, Lusher, and Santos. Battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Schlegel and Isidro kind of battling back there for who gets that lucky dog position, if a caution did come out.
I think Isidro's 3 laps down,
yeah.
So Schlegel would have the
priority
advantage. Because what will happen is then once Schlegel gets his lap back, then the next caution will fall to Isidro getting his lap back. So he's still not out of this yet. I mean, we are still talking short track racing. Can we see 4 more cautions? Possible. But when this field starts getting thinned out like this, the likelihood of it happening is less and less and less for every lap completed.
Yep. Especially as these cars do begin to spread out a bit here, just with that aero wash is such a thing in these cars. So
you also got to kind of watch your tools in this race too. As the track temperature tends to, when it's going to cool off. Right now, they probably have their cars with a lot of weight jacker in them, trying to get around these corners while the track still has some heat. But when the track cools down, that weight jacker is going to be dialed down. Otherwise, what's going to happen is they're probably going to run into a situation where they're loose off the corner. We saw a lot of that in practice, and that's something typical you see on at least 1.5 mile tracks or maybe even mile ovals, where you see them kind of come off turn 2, and all of a sudden the car takes a really quick turn left. Normally that's because of too much weight jacker, and this is a situation they could run in here too, as well as the temperature continues to drop.
Going on board with Albee here, running a different line than Jasper up there in P3. Jasper's running kind of a middle of the track through the corners, whereas Albee's running low.
Caleb is there.
Yes, he is. Keep an eye on that up there. 1 car ahead of Jasper, 2 cars ahead. Go on board with Caleb up here.
And an interesting thing about this track, Dakota clipped the apron, and that's going to cost him some speed. He's looking to the inside. Here comes Caleb.
Caleb inside. But
that was a costly clip. Just a little tiny clip. Wow.
Yeah, you do not want to hit that, but with that said, now we've said it earlier that really Dakota has with the better line at this point, and he's able to come back on the outside.
Yep.
You carry a little bit,
but
more
it allowed Jasper and Albee to join up on this party here. And believe it or not, we've talked about this as a short track that runs like, oh, there he pulls off the pass. I talk about a short track that drives like a super speedway. The draft does work here.
Yeah, big move there by Caleb. That was a great move, taking the lead there. Now Dakota coming under pressure from Jasper and Albie. Still a big gap back to 5th, though.
Well, I kind of what you're seeing for Dakota is this is his first time really in traffic all night long, so he needs to acclimate himself to this for the next couple of laps, and that's why these cars are kind of getting all over him. Once he gets his tools dialed in and gets used to running in dirty air, he should be able to pick back up the pace. But right now, he's kind of a bit of a not a sitting duck, but definitely a lame duck.
A move on the outside.
There it is. Jasper pulls off a great move. Yeah.
By Christian Jasper, moving him up into the 2nd position. And already Caleb has moved up, not quite a second. Well, it almost is a second. 9/10 up ahead. As Dakota comes under pressure from Albie.
Albie might learn something too. If he just saw that pass go off on the high side, he might want to copy that. But right now, it looks like his car agrees with him the most right there on the yellow line.
I think that Dakota just decided, hey, I'm going to try this high line as well.
And look at him. He is up in the 3rd lane. Albie's there, though.
And Watson has caught back up to this group, and Holler right there as well.
Like Caleb had just disappeared.
Yeah. That's the thing here is when you do get into a battle with somebody, you end up driving much slower than a car that's running single file.
Yeah, this is very quickly becoming a 4-way battle for 3rd place.
And Dakota's actually dropped a 2.5 on Jasper up there. He's still working that. Whoa, we've got big checkup by Albie. Did you see that? Wow.
Yeah, saw that. I saw him working his hands in the cockpit on that one too. He grabs it back, loses 2 spots, but he is still able to get back underway. He's getting a lot of praise on the radio for saving that.
Yeah, let's watch this onboard here from Albie. Whoa, look at this. That was almost full opposite lock there. A great hand movement by Albie.
So what you saw there is track temperature actually is gone up. But that's kind of a classic too much weight jacker coming off the corner and the car kind of gets loose.
That's exactly right. What I was thinking is that was a lot of weight jacker.
So he's probably dialing that back out as well as probably dialing down his pulse.
Yeah, maybe getting calling up a new pair of underpants for his pay career. They're really getting close to that wall on the straightaway at the entrance of turn 1. So I'll be back there in a 6 now, working on Holler, trying to get this thing back together here.
Ooh, Holler just pulls right up in front of him.
Yeah, that's who I was looking at when I was saying they really go high going into turn 1.
Now this time, Albie's going to have a run off of 4. Ooh, Holler pulls right up in him. Definitely keeping that spot filled in front of him.
Yes, he is.
I'm not saying he's blocking, but he's definitely making sure that there's a wheel there.
He's making that car as wide
as possible. Right, yep.
Within legal requirements.
There you go. He's getting a great run now off of 2 here. But just can't quite pull it off. Not with these used tires.
Yeah,
they're 34 laps into this run right here. So they're at the point actually where the caution came out. Oh, side by side. And he pulls it off.
Great.
So yeah, they're actually at the point where the caution occurred last stint. So now they're kind of going into parts unknown.
Looking up to Watson in P4. He's caught Dakota. championship implications here. This is what really Watson needs to do. He needs to get ahead of Dakota in some of these races. That is Isidro running the really high line, trying to kind of stay out of the way. Isidro 4 laps down. Ooh. You can see Dakota really washing up the track. Under pressure.
Yeah, and he had to check up a little bit there, and that's going to allow the bottom side to be open for Watson. He actually pulls it off. Oh, but he's going to get the crossover. Watson pulls it off there.
Yeah, I think there's not much grip on that low side now. All the grip is on that top lane if you're making a pass on somebody.
Well, I mean, Watson kind of made it work down there. If you watch his laps, he's continuing to go down to he's about a half lane off the bottom right there, but he's one of the cars, few cars actually going down that low.
Holler trying to get around Isidro here.
Jasper that time by 0.2 faster than Bency, so
yeah, I've been watching
he's
this.
Starting to reel that one in.
It went to about 1.5 seconds, and then he brought it down to 1.2 about, and now it's grown once again. And you just got to find that line. Jasper's, let's see, Caleb's running. It looks like he's running a low line, maybe half a lane up, like you were saying earlier. But Jasper looks like he's running a full lane up. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, he's in that middle lane.
He's definitely as the longer this run goes on, his tires are not going to be as worn as Bency, who is going down to the half lane higher.
This isn't going to help Jasper though. He's got Lusher ahead of him. Lap traffic. Lusher must have had an issue here because he's 3 laps down now. Well, he might have. Yeah, he did a green flag stop. It looks like he stopped again for new tires. If he's expecting this to go green to the end, or at least to at some point have a caution, then maybe that works out for him. But I'm not quite sure. I think we're too far away from that to making it the whole way at this point.
Well, if he has fresher tires, oh gosh, yeah. Look at him eat up Caleb.
Yeah, so now he's moving. He was just getting out of the pits there. Now he's going to be a faster a lap. This is
and Caleb wisely lets him go, just like, I don't know if he knows that he just came out of the pits or whatever, but he just wisely lets him go. You can probably tell he's not on the same lap with them through the relative, but not everyone has the overlays working that we can tell that he just pit 5 laps ago.
A big-time gambler there, Lusher. So that lead for Bency is over 2 seconds now. Dakota back in 5th now, under pressure.
Wow, down to 6th.
Yeah. He's got a lot of ground back to Cosgrove, though. Dakota just needs to kind of get this car underneath him and get to the next pit stop.
Yeah, we're halfway home. So we got there quick.
We can ask the audience who's watching if let us know who your favorite driver is out there. Let us know in chat, and we can cover them on the camera from time to time.
Dakota's still going right down to the yellow line right there in 3 and 4.
His lap times are down to 19 seconds.
Yeah, 19 flat that time by, and that's nobody in the top 5 was a 19. Closest to that was a 18.5 by Watson.
Ooh, I can just see. I think Dakota's kind of using the whole track. He's really low in the corners and then really high on the exits. Well, that doesn't seem to be the fast way around here. Literally everybody else around him is a half second faster. He is getting into a pit window, though. If he can be the first of the, I would, quote, lead lap cars to pit, we're looking at 65 to 70 laps here. We're at 69 to go right now.
He might want. Ooh, he almost kissed the wall right there, and Cosgrove's reeling him in. He might want to think about the second that window opens, just go ahead and take it. And he washes way up into turn 2. Cosgrove gets the,
are toast, I have to imagine.
And now Odell, kind of his corporate teammate, so to speak, is starting to reel him in.
You can just kind of hear everybody is kind of being very tender on their foot here around this track at this point. But Dakota even more than anybody else out here.
Yeah, he's wanting. Here's a pass for position. Santos and Odell behind Dakota here.
Yep.
Santos is not being shy at all for using that bottom line.
Nope. He's running that kind of all-American racer livery.
And that car does look mean when it's coming at you.
It does. I'm a big fan of having like an eagle on the front of that car. I think it looks pretty cool.
Whoa, both of them gained big time. Now, Caleb had the roll out of that, or I'm sorry, Dakota had the roll out of that. They about ran into the back of him. Almost split them, actually.
Oh, Dakota just needs to get into the pits. I think everybody can make it from here.
I'm not sure when that window opens.
I think it's open now, but I'm not driving the car, so they know better than I do. But literally, Dakota's about to go down a lap. He's 2 seconds from going a lap down.
Yeah. Yeah, the leader is, as he's exiting turn 4, or entering turn 1, the leader's at the start-finish line, so...
Lusher must have had a big checkup, because his last lap was at 19.8, and I thought I saw him brushing the wall there as Caleb went by. Keep an eye on that pit lane. I feel like these guys are afraid to do a green flag stop. And that's why they've stayed out here. With Caleb...
I don't know. I think right now I see a green flag stop as an opportunity.
Yeah, this could be a major undercut if you did it. But I think the opportunity is kind of gone at this point. Once somebody does it, everybody's going to go do it. But maybe the thought is, if I go down 2 laps and somebody brings out the caution going into the pits, then I'm toast. So everybody's just hanging out here, waiting for somebody to go into pits and bring out that caution.
Well, your championship leader is a lap down now. And the interesting thing is, okay, he's still the first car a lap down. I would say I thought Schlegel was I'm going to pass him here, but he's now 2 laps down to the leader. So if a yellow does happen, Dakota will get the
okay, Holler is in the pits. So he's our first gambler. Other than Lusher, we said was a gambler, but...
Well, we remember back from Dover, Holler made that first move to pit road and then ended up coming out like a second and a half ahead of the guys that were behind him. I don't know if it's going to come out this time for him, but he does like to gamble.
I'll be hitting the pit lane as well. I think he's going to be literally, once he's up to temperature, he's going to have an issue with Lusher here. But he's going to be 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody else out here. So this is the call right here. I think he's a little far back to get up.
Pit road.
Yeah. Somebody else, is that Isidro? Yeah, Isidro, so 6 laps down at this point.
Yeah, I think someone was just waiting for someone to make that first move, and they're like, okay, that's it, I'm in. This is actually one of those situations that the longer you stay out, normally the longer you stay out in a race is good for you, but this is one of those situations, the longer you stay out, the more time it's just going to cost you.
Yeah, unless the caution came out. But you don't... once you went down a lap, your only opportunity to get that lap back other than a caution would have been getting onto new tires and putting in some hot laps. Bensi stays out. Dakota's still out there. His last lap was a 20-second lap.
20 flat. Wow. That's 3 seconds slower than his purple lap.
So Holler's out of here. Yeah. He's his last lap was a 17.7, and he's even working on getting around drivers. That's got to be slowing him down a little bit. Looks like he's got clear track ahead. I think Holler's going to move up some spots. It might not be for the lead like it was back at Dover, but he's going to he might get himself on a podium.
I think Caleb is subscribing to typical strategy. Wait for the tire, wait for that tank to go dry before pitting.
Jasper and who is the other car there?
Jasper is in, yeah.
There was another car there. Schlegel. They were so close to having contact at pit entry.
We had Santos saying he's coming in this time. Here comes Caleb. Caleb is in.
Yep. Santos behind him.
They're both feathering it through the corner there, and then they got to get the car down to virtually nothing as they hit the cones there.
That's right. Well, we're going to see how everything mixes up here. Dakota finally coming into the pits as well. He's been running almost a 21-second lap that last one.
Yeah, he's going to be really happy to get these tires off.
Yeah, but I think the damage will have been done.
That's too little too late. Yeah.
We're going to see some fast laps here towards the, they actually don't need to have, as much fuel. They don't need full fuel at this point.
Wow, look at this gaggle of cars that are all coming on the backstretch right here. So Holler is going to be your leader.
Wow. But his tires might start going off here. Because he's been on these tires for 12 laps. He's got Watson.
Oh!
Watson looking inside.
He stuck the tire down there. Watson, I don't think could got any closer on that one. Oh, he's right there in his gearbox. Oh my goodness! Here comes Albie on the outside, and here comes Caleb with fresh tires. Watch out, boys!
Yeah, this is pretty nuts here. Let's go on board with Caleb here.
Ooh!
There was some contact there between Holler and Watson.
Yeah, Holler's been he's been trying to come down and fill that gap right in front of him. And it's like I'm saying, it's not dirty, but he's definitely not giving any inches. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that was questionable there. We'll see race control. They'll be looking at that. Bensi gets into third, gets around Albie. Dakota's in ninth, our leader. He's 2 laps, championship leader, 2 laps down.
Now Watson needs to keep this in mind. He needs to look and see where his rival is, and keep that in mind when he's trying to make this move. I know he wants to lead. I know he wants to win, and he's getting a great run off of 2 right here. He's going to go to the inside in 3 and 4. Now will he push him down to the white-yellow line again? Here comes Caleb down low.
Gonna make it 3 wide.
3 wide. Oh my goodness. Steady boys, 3 wide into 1. Ooh.
Fresh tires on the inside for Caleb. That is the move right there. Holler's going to come back.
That was definitely a pucker moment. And here comes Albie. Here comes Albie's right there.
It.
Oh, they're going to go 3 wide again on the front stretch. Caleb's liking this now.
Yeah, now this is perfect position for Caleb right here.
I tell you, when they were all grouped together like that, the guy that was probably in the best position was, at the time, it was Lucas Santos. He was up in 5th place and could see all that action in front of him. And wouldn't inherit the lead if there happened to be a large wreck there. But as the field has gotten straightened out here, he has fallen back to 8th behind, let's see, Cosgrove and Odell.
Dakota moving up through here. He's 2 laps down, but it looks like drivers are being nice and kind of letting him through in the middle.
And they don't have to do that.
No.
Really, they don't. They do not have to do that. He is a lap down to the leader. They do not have to yield to him.
Fresher tires than everybody else out here. Holler blocked him. When I say that, I don't mean it was illegal or anything like that. Oh, and he's up into the wall is Dakota. There was contact with Holler. He put himself into a situation there that is tough. I think he's going to have to bring it into the pits.
I wonder if Holler has any damage. He's going to fall back into the clutches of Albee, Cosgrove, and Santos. Santos underneath Cosgrove there. Cosgrove got slowed up by Lusher. Jasper's still back there. Here's Albee on the high side. It's going to get a good run. And Dakota said something on the radio. I'm not sure what he said.
He's in the pits.
Yeah, I don't know if he's unhappy with Holler or not. Okay, there goes Albee on the high side. Great pass.
And
Fins!
Cosgrove and Holler. I think it was Cosgrove.
Cosgrove is claiming responsibility. So there's a caution.
Not sure that helps anybody, really. Might help Odell's going to get a lap back.
Yeah, Odell will get his lap back, and that's the only person that's really going to help, though.
Cosgrove kept it off the wall. He was taking a ride through the grass on the tri-oval, and just kept it off the wall. I bet there's some interesting chat right now, Gary.
There is some chat going on right now. Watching a lot of radio traffic at the moment.
I'm going to go try to see if I can find this contact.
Fast repairs got... they don't have fast repairs here. So that would have been regular service, got him a new rear wing, put that back on, so he is back in the place. Not sure if there's any other unseen damage that's happened to Holler, but we'll see when he gets back up to speed. He's going to kind of feather-foot it a little bit because he's not sure. He's one of those situations the car might just go snap loose on him.
Going on board with Dakota. He's trying to make it work on the outside. Front wing contacts with Holler's right rear, and that sends Dakota up into the wall. Our championship leader here. This championship's going to get even tighter going to our next race.
Yeah, he didn't want that. So we got looks like Holler's back on pit road. Everyone's going to stop again.
Interesting. Actually, we've got Albee has stayed out. I don't know if this is just to lead a lap. So Bensie's in second.
Well, if it's just to lead a lap, he's going to be giving up a ton of track position because he still doesn't get cycled up to the lap traffic, not until towards the end of the race, where all the lap traffic gets put back and all the guys on his leading lap go up front. Maybe he's going to stay out there. Maybe he's going to get. Maybe he thinks he can make it. I just don't know. I just don't know what he's going to do with used tires that are 24 laps old versus. We've seen clearly. Anybody with fresh tires is Superman on the racetrack.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Holler made any friends out here tonight. Looking at him, he's a lap down. Odell got the lucky dog. He'll be up to 6th. So Watson and Bensie going to be really happy with the points that they can gain. They have to finish the race, though, still.
Yeah. So still going to run the laps.
And Dakota's going to come out in 11th, so he's going to hope that, there's some more action at the front. Maybe some more cars drop out of this race. going back to that strategy there with Holler, I think he played that strategy perfect.
He did. He did.
That, I was talking about it. I said I don't see why these guys aren't pitting, and he finally did it. And we saw him go from like 5th to 1st. That's what tires are worth. He was literally like 10 seconds down, and in 5 to 8 laps of running green flag with those fresh tires, he was able to make up that big gap that he had. So that is something some of these other drivers out here might be noting in their strategy log for future races.
For next time they come to either Iowa or Richmond. I mean, you're not going to run that type of strategy at probably not New Hampshire. Definitely not.
I would say any short oval. I wouldn't say Gateway, but I would say Milwaukee or New Hampshire. This kind of thing.
You think Milwaukee? I mean, New Hampshire normally the fast line around is the upper groove, whether you have good tires or not.
I meant more.
That's why I think that would have worked there. Maybe Milwaukee, but. I could definitely see where fresh tires would be a benefit to you at Phoenix, especially with the dual radius turns that they have there, where you need the grip to keep the speed through 3 and 4, but handling brings you really more through turns 1 and 2. Doing the under there probably is of benefit.
What the drop off is? It's what the drop off is from that first lap on your fresh tires to the lap 60. On those tires, and if it's 2 seconds, then an undercut can work tremendously. So it's mostly on the short ovals. You're not seeing those kind of lap drop-offs at a mile and a half or above.
No. You're not going to see that.
See a little bit, but I don't think even that's that much. I think it might be a second. So. Is the lights off on the pace car?
Yeah, lights are off. Everyone's getting ready to go green here. Hopefully to the end, only 30 laps to go.
Yeah. We're going to see what Albie can do. He's going to have
great
fresh,
jump.
He's going to have clean air, so that could be the call here.
Well, and remember, we saw Craig Forsyth last year try the same thing, and he got passed by the time he reached this point in the track.
Yeah. So far, so good. I think that Bensi is stalking him, and I think we also have seen that Albie is a very clean driver. And he's not going to try to run somebody down to the apron. If he can't,
And I think Caleb can be patient here. Well, he's making the pass for the lead here. He could have been patient if he wanted to, knowing that full well that he had better tires and the opportunity was going to present itself sooner rather than later. Now Albie's going to fall back to the clutches of Watson. So Jasper has made a good move. He is up to 4th. He was kind of hovering around the lower to mid top 10 there, and he's starting to work his way back up.
And now Watson's working on Albie.
Yeah, he's got to get inside there.
That's
and you just see at the second that they go side by side, all of a sudden Jasper's not there, and then he's there. And that's how much it holds you up when he pulls it off. Good pass.
And now it's Jasper's turn to try this, but it will be maybe a little bit tougher for Jasper to do this because he's got Watson ahead of him on that low line.
He is going upstairs.
Yes, he did, and he's going to pull it off. It looks like,
and he's still upstairs.
Jasper's liking that high line. Looks like Cosgrove had to call it a day, so that's going to put Dakota into 10th, so a little bit more valuable points.
Well, I say for a small field, and now we only got 6 cars on the lead lap, and it's still a pretty good race. As Caleb, we're saying that as Caleb's gone to a 2.2 second lead over Watson, but really, that's most everyone has been in pretty close contact to each other, despite a small field.
Well, tomorrow night, Gary, you're going to be broadcasting over in the Daredevil Turbo Series from the same track over in the PM18 Indy Pro 2000 cars. So.
Yeah, but it's going to be an entirely different race. It's going to be like a super speedway race for these cars. Of those cars are sized just perfectly for this track, or rather, we can actually say this track is sized just perfectly for the cars. It will look like a taxi cab restrictor plate race if you're into those type of races. But it will be all PM18s, and they're going to be like an angry bunch of bees buzzing around this place.
Tomorrow night about 7:30, we'll be broadcasting that here on the Raceverse channel.
That's going to be fun, so check us out.
And you might even see yours truly at least start the race.
Well, just remember the God-So strategy. It got me a podium there last time, so.
Oh, I know the God-So strategy.
So we get a week off, and then we head to Long Beach. Those the guys that are good on the road courses, they got 2 more opportunities here before the season is done at Gateway.
That's right. We've got Long Beach, and then we've got Spa. I think Spa is the second to last.
Yeah, Spa is the last one, and then they go to Gateway.
What's the oval in between there? I just had it open too.
I just had it open too.
Okay, it is. Okay, sorry. Auto Club.
Auto Club, great.
Yeah, there you go. So we got a big oval, and then we've got all sorts of tracks to round out the season. We've got a street course. We've got a big oval. We've got a rolling hills of Europe circuit in Spa, and then finishing off with the 1.25 mile be considered a short oval at Gateway.
It's interesting. Gateway, we call Iowa the short oval that races like a super speedway. Gateway is a lot like not quite a super speedway, but a larger speedway that runs and races very much like a short track.
Yeah, I see a lot of people compare Gateway to Motegi sometimes.
No.
They see the shape, and
they see the shape, and folks, that's where it ends. I mean, you could also throw Darlington into that mess, and that no, just because they're made the same doesn't mean they're going to race the same.
It is the difference there. The big difference is that Motegi runs speedway wings, and Gateway runs the wings we're running here, the short oval wings.
Well, and then also the track is inverted for Gateway for Motegi. Motegi, the wider end is turns 1 and 2, where the wider end of Gateway is turns 3 and 4, and the handling in at Motegi is 3 and 4, and the handling in at Gateway is 1 and 2. So, and there's a lot more banking at Motegi and a whole bunch of other things that allow the cars to get closer to 200 miles an hour. You can flirt with like 180s and 190s at Gateway, but you're not going to pull off 200s there.
Yeah, when they ran the manufacturer aero kits, the Chevy and Hondas at Gateway with the DW12, then they were quite fast because they had so much downforce on those cars. We're under 10 laps to go here.
Yeah, this is wrapped up rather quickly, and Caleb's got himself a 3.5-second lead. He's got Lesher right there in front of him. Lesher's taking the high line, leading them through. But right now, after he passes that, the next closest person is Schlegel, who's 5.1 up the road, and that's it. There's not a soul around him.
I'm looking back. Jasper and Albee they're pretty close, but Albee's got those really old tires. So Odell has moved up into the 5th spot.
I got to tell you, I don't know if Albee. I think if Albee, even if he did have regular pitted and everything, he probably would have finished in the roughly same position. I'm willing to bet, maybe if not higher. It was a gamble, but I don't think it was a gamble that's going to reap any rewards.
Yeah.
It'll result maybe in a top 5 at best, but I think maybe if he went in and pitted, maybe it might have been
Jasper
payoff
just hit the wall on the exit of 4.
Ooh. Well, that might get Albee back onto the podium.
We almost took out Albee on the
high
side. Let me get a quick replay of what happened to Jasper there. Jasper was thanking me previously for not having replays of his stuff, but...
and he's off power. He's just like, man, I need to make these last 4 laps. He's he looks like he's squirrely or something's bent, and
He was running that high line, and finally, if there's Monday, he went into him.
Well, he might got the meatball, and maybe, I don't know how many laps he got that meatball, but if it was less than 5, I mean, he could have made it home. But he's answering the meatball.
Yeah, that's gonna
put Albie back on the podium there, and Watson now really wants to see these next 3 laps go by rather smoothly and quickly, because he's going to be he's the one that's going to gain the most out of this besides Caleb.
Yeah, this is championship implications here tonight.
White flag in the air, I think.
Dakota's really struggling out here with his bent-up car. He's running 21-second laps. Final lap here, though, from Caleb. Dakota's pulling it off, it looks like.
That's got to be insult.
Yeah,
insult the injury right there to watch your guy that, right past you.
And Betsy wins. Watson's going to come home in P2, and Albie's going to be on the podium here.
Great finish by those two. Very good.
Yeah, really
and
good.
I guess the gamble does kind of pay off.
Got the fireworks.
My words there.
Yes, you are.
Caleb did get the purple lap there. I think in his that last run, he got a 17.297.
I figured with the low fuel,
the win,
the cool temperatures, and just the rubber on the track.
Tires,
Yeah. Getting some good donuts from Caleb.
He might have led the most laps, too. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. But
he got 3/4 of the Triple Crown, or the Grand Slam, excuse me. So that's a pretty good night.
Tough break for Jasper there, finishing 7th, but heck of a run. Great podium, or great pole position.
Yeah, that finish isn't reflective of the type of effort he put in.
Yeah. That's right. Well, we'll get our podium finishers. I see Watson's already there, but let me get this set up. We'll be right back.
He's going to be super excited.
All right, so we've got, we'll bring up James Watson here. Hey, James, this is Matt and Gary up in the booth. Got a copy? Maybe?
Still yet. Celebrating.
Yeah, still celebrating. We'll get him. Once he
guys got me.
There he is. Hey, James, great run here tonight. My information saying you started 10th, coming home in P2. You're P2 in the championship. Dakota having kind of a bad night here. You're going to gain quite a few points, eat into that lead he's got. But, of course, you've got Caleb there taking the win also in the hunt for this championship. But great run here tonight.
Yeah. What a race. Oh, my. For a track you can't really pass on, there was some insanity. Holy hell! Like that battle with me, most of them. The battle with me, Albie, and Dakota when Chris had that heck of a save, and then later on when me, Michael, and Caleb were going 3 wide. That was just absolutely nuts. I'm just playing all that back in my head, like the holy hell. And this is what I was hoping for, like going down into turbo and getting experience up front and just working on my craft. I was hoping that coming back to Schaeffer's Indy, I would be able to translate that and show why I won the championship and show why turbo is awesome. Not making sure I don't let down all my turbos, and fighting with Caleb of all people for the win and sitting second place in points. I'm already well over accomplished what I was hoping to accomplish heading into the season. It's amazing.
Well, I could. I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but I have definitely seen your progression as starting the season, getting solid top tens, and keep running up those top tens, and now those top tens are turning into top fives. Is there a win in your future?
Man, honestly, I feel like if I could have gotten by Michael when we were battling, I feel like Caleb had the skill and the tire advantage, of course, but I feel like with the clean air and him having to get by Michael, if I would have gotten by him, I think I would have at least held the lead for a decent bit. I just kind of lack the race winning pace. There's still a lot of guys in IndyCar, iRacing in general that are just amazing and just that little bit better than me. So I've still got a ways to go to bring home wins and to be a real championship threat. But
I'll tell you what. You're putting your car in a position to win, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, I could definitely see your improvement as the season's gone on, and I would not be surprised if things work out and you get a victory later this season. But I have seen the improvement. I hope others have seen the improvement as well. You've definitely seen your own improvement, and your path to how you wanted to show success is definitely a very solid path, and you've walked it well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry if I'm cutting you off, but I like your turbo. Your invention of that. I don't know if that came out tonight or it's been the previous thing, but thanks for bringing that to the broadcast.
I really can't take credit for it. I heard it on an episode of Adventure Time, and so I've been waiting for the opportunity to use it. So I can't take credit for it, but I'm just happy I had an opportunity to bring it home. And I'm really good at my turbo. Okay, Jasper couldn't join me on the podium. He was so close.
Yeah, he had some issues there at the end, but hey, any thank yous, shout outs, sponsors to thank, anybody watching, family, friends, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I gotta thank Zach Scott Nicky and JS Designs. He does my logo and my paint schemes, and I put that poor kid through so much hell dealing with my colors and the million different paint schemes I have him do. I gotta thank Chris Graham over at NRN. I gotta thank a new addition to my sponsorship team, Gary DeMoss and NTWR Landscaping. If you want to move the moss, you better call DeMoss. Gary DeMoss at Mr. Toad's Wild Ride Landscaping.
This guy's got the sponsorship.
There you go.
It goes right here.
I am to please.
James Watson, great run here tonight. You got a break next week. We'll see you back at Long Beach.
Heck yeah. Looking forward to it.
All right. Take care. All right. Well, we made Caleb wait.
Told you he was going to be excited.
Yeah, he really was. Hey, Caleb, this is Matt. We made you wait today. A little bit like IndyCar sometimes makes the winner wait. Sure. We got to get this commercial break in, but we had our talk with James there. But Great run. This is really big for the championship. Obviously, Dakota's probably fuming right now.
Yeah.
But this is a great run for you. You had a moment where you went 3 wide with, I think it was Holler and it might have been Albee on the top. I don't remember who it was, but man, that was a heck of a move.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I feel bad for Dakota. He definitely had me outpaced in the first stint, and the track really changed, like temperature-wise and condition-wise and stuff. And it really suited apparently whatever I was running. It didn't suit him, and it's one of those things where you just keep trying a little too hard and it just doesn't really pay off. It kind of snowballs. So definitely feel bad for him, but yeah, that battle was interesting. I was trying to stay out as long as I can on that green flag stop because I figured someone.
We noticed that. Yeah, we noticed that. We're like, he's passing pit road again. He's passing it again.
I'm like,
all the while, I mean, all those guys, all the guys made the earlier stops. They were they were 2 seconds a lap faster than you.
Exactly. So I just didn't want to get caught out by. I figured I like faster pace. I'm like, I don't want to get caught out by a dumb yellow by someone spinning because it's super easy here at Iowa. But And yeah, once I caught the back of him, I mean, Michael Aller or whatever is making horrible blocks at least from my perspective. But so I was just really trying to kind of stay away from him for a little bit because I thought they were all going to wreck each other about 5 times, and finally I just didn't really want to sit behind him any longer. So
yeah, gotta go. Yeah.
My tires were a lot fresher and had a faster pace, I think. So I just cut it down super hard, got a huge run, and yeah, and then he almost took me out again after that. So kind of knew that was going to come though. So
yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, it was good though. Pace was good. The track was actually pretty fun. Setup was a little odd. I feel like the front floated a bit, but overall though, definitely a good night.
Yeah, it was a heck of a run. You missed out on the podium, but I think you led the most laps. You got the fastest lap, right, Gary?
Yeah, he got the fastest, led the most, I think, and double check that. And so you got 3/4 of the way to the Grand Slam. You didn't lead every lap, but you can't be perfect. Yeah. You led 91, so you got the fast lap. You led 91, and he didn't have the pole, so you got 2/4 of the Grand Slam. Yeah. So, but still, the major one there is the win. So congrats, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Definitely a fun race, but obviously, I don't really know who's watching, but grandparents, family, anyone who's watching, thanks as always, and yeah, thanks to you guys, Fawn and Fanny, and yeah, glad to get back to back. Yeah,
that's right.
Season didn't start very good, so this is it's good to get back in the rhythm and get some wins.
Well, we're gonna have a break next week. Then we're coming back for Long Beach. I know that's probably a good track for you. Then we're gonna have Spa, or we're gonna have Auto Club, Spa, and Gateway to round out the season. So you can think about all that and come back with that week of break and for your championship run here and that battle with Dakota.
Yeah, I think I like all those but Gateway.
Yeah, it's always interesting having Gateway as the final. It's a very interesting choice.
You will be fine, Caleb. Trust me.
I hope so.
I'm sure you will be fine at Gateway.
Yeah, it's just not the most comfortable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to Long Beach. Always fun going there, and Spa is a good track. So.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we'll talk to you in a couple weeks' time.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, as someone that has 2 career wins in league races at Gateway, he understates his ability there. Let's get Chris up here. We got to get Mr. IndyCar.
Hey, Chris, this is Matt and Gary up in the booth.
How's it going?
Great. Well, I'm going to call... I mean, it's tough to say there's a move of the race between Caleb going 3 wide for the lead, but Chris having that moment... and like Code Brown kind of moment and saving it, and we got a good replay of it from an onboard. I'm gonna have to say that was like the move of the race.
I could not believe I hung on. I think I crossed all 3 lanes on that one.
So what was that? Was it a case of just the track temperature was cooling down? You had too much weight jacker in it, or
I had a lot of weight jacker in it, but I think I can't remember who was in front of me, but they kind of. It was almost like a dirt track. He just kind of slid up in front of me, and I kind of backed off, and the rear end just started to go.
Okay, so the balance of the balance of the car was kind of disrupted because.
Yeah, I didn't even get on the brakes. I think it was just right on that bump on the exit, and it just perfect scenario.
Yeah, with all the downforce these cars produce and everything, I mean, just rolling off the accelerator is just as good as hitting the brakes sometimes. So I guess that makes sense. So brilliant save, though.
Thank you.
And really a brilliant call on your part. I was kind of poo-pooing it towards the end of the race until you made up that position and got back on the podium. I'm like, well, if he would have pitted with everyone else, he probably would have finished roughly in the same spot he is now, but with fresher tires. But then a couple things happen in front of you, and boom, you're up on the it's the bottom step, but you're on the step nevertheless. And I'm happy that you're here because you are by far our most favorite livery, and we get to talk about you every week. And now we get to talk to you finally this week.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to finally get a good finish on an oval. You know, the thing about the tires this week was the middle of the stint was terrible, but once you kind of started to burn off the right rear, it really started to come back. So I didn't want to risk losing some spots in pit lane, and I dropped my keyboard, so I didn't want to have to rush to uncheck things. But once you got out of that zone where it got really tight, it felt a lot better. So I knew if I could just sit tight and hang around the top 4 or 5, I might be able to get back on the podium. So I'm glad it worked out.
What does I say? Necessity is the mother of all invention, or something right there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
really, your call of the race that you made for your final pit stop or not stopping was because your keyboard was on the floor.
Well, yeah, but that's not the story I'm going to tell.
But still, it worked out, man. It worked out.
Yes, it did.
The worry with the keyboard being on the floor is you always wonder, what is that, if there's like a key being pressed, is that keyboard upside down, and is it pressing some button that you don't want?
Yeah, I lucked out big time that nothing bad happened.
Yeah, I've been there before. Well, a great run here. So 2 weeks, we got a week break. 2 weeks, we're going to be back at Long Beach. Any thoughts going there and rounding out the season? And of course, any shout outs to sponsors, family, friends, anything like that?
No sponsors, but I'm kind of looking forward to get back on a road course here. That's kind of where I feel more at home, so I'm looking forward to that. It's been a fun season, though, so hopefully I can get towards the top 7 or 8 in points and see what happens.
Sounds good. Well, you're usually pretty good on the road courses. Maybe it hasn't gone the greatest for you in the race. Like, I don't know, just something's kind of, you've been up there and then just something kind of happens. I almost considered a broadcaster curse, because I feel like me and Gary are always rooting for you.
Don't talk about Christopher. Don't talk about Christopher. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been the Spencer Piggott of this series, I think. I'm always around the top 5. I just never finish there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you there in a couple weeks, but great run here tonight, finally getting on the podium this season.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
Hey, congrats. So actually, we do have the updated points. It hasn't been posted in as a nice little image yet, but they did post it in the new Dan Lisa, which is now what SimRacerHub.com.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got Dakota has a 50-point flat lead over Dakota or over James. 74 over Caleb and 104 over Holler. So, and actually not too far out of the fight there. In fifth spot is Isidro is 118, and one point behind him is even Jasper at 119 behind. So really, the top 6 are really all within 1 or 2 good races of kind of climbing the standings.
Yeah, it's going to be really close final race, final championship run to Gateway here. As we talked to Caleb about Gateway, he's pretty good there. It might not be his favorite track. I think he likes it in terms of watching it, in IndyCar going there. He just might not be the greatest driving fan of it. It's a lot of bad things can happen there. Like just like here tonight, you can get into a situation that is really out of your control. It's just tough sometimes like that. But I'd like to run through our final results for this race. So Caleb Bensi taking the win. James Watson's going to come home in P2. I'll be there in P3. Odell having a good finish there in P4. What did he start, like 15th or something? Lucas Santos 5th. Hannes Schlegel in 6th. Christian Jasper P7. A tough break for Christian there at the end. Michael Holder, P8. Neil Lusher, P9. Dakota DeMade, our championship leader in P10. Nicholas Isidro, Matt Cosgrove, Angelo Espo, Kresge, Donchak, and rounding out the field is going to be Woodall and Simkowski, who did not actually start the race. But that's it for us tonight. Any final thoughts there, Gary?
Nah, great race. We knew it was going to be a great race. I think we just had the perfect size field to start the race tonight. Unfortunately, we had that first lap accident that kind of thinned the field out a little bit. But great close racing.
Yep.
We did see some maybe we thought were questionable moves, and now we kind of got confirmation by the drivers of the cars that they were questionable moves. So we'll see what happens that comes out of that for race control. But I thought it was a great night of racing, very entertaining, and I hope everybody at home enjoyed it. And if you liked what you saw here, please come back and join us tomorrow with the Daredevil Turbo Series, where we're going to see do more of the same. But big draft packs, and it should be a great time. So join us tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.
Sounds good. Well, we'll give a shout out to Schaeffer's Oil, and we'll let them lead us out here tonight.
Good night.
Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, you know, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.